After reading all the articles found through google.com and our online library, you came up with a list of 50 possible solutions, for example. Now you are ready to construct, to write your problem solution essay. Happy time! You have three organizational patterns you can follow. You need to decide which one you want to follow. Let's assume you want to follow the first one. Explain the first one. Well, if you want to follow the first one, your essay must focus on one of the found solutions. On one of the found solution. Let's assume that one of the found solutions you want to argue for is for all the countries of the world rich and poor to shift from fossil fuel to clean energy. How will I know that? By reading your thesis statement. By reading your thesis statement, the last statement of the introduction. Let me read that. Here you will say, one of the most viable solutions would be for all the countries of the world, rich and poor, to shift from fossil fuel to clean energy. You have that, but you don't have a full introduction yet. In order to have a full introduction, you need to have some background information sentences before the thesis statement. First of all, you need to define the problem. Define the problem. What does that mean, define the problem? You have to show the problem exists. You have to show climate change exists. There are many ways to do that. One of the ways is to cite United Nations renowned climate change scientists, even political leaders can be used, okay, as evidence, the statement as evidence that climate change exists. So you have many ways to show that climate change is not your invention. Climate change does exist, but that's not enough. Your reader may agree with you, may agree that climate change exists, but they don't care. So you, after finish showing the problem exists, you have to discuss some of the consequences, the major consequences. How are you going to find the major consequences? Once again, you go to google.com, you go to our library, you can even use Google Scholar, Google Scholar. You would tab there, consequences, climate change or climate change consequences. These keywords alone will allow you, whether you decide to go through google.com, Google Scholar, or our own library, you will find articles discussing the consequences of climate change. After finish reading these articles, You ready to add a few sentences here um, about consequences of climate change? You know, because of climate change, there is one consequence: glacier melting. What happens when glacier melts? Sea level rises. When sea level rises, coastal flooding. And with coastal flooding, destruction of habitat, human habitat and animal habitat. After finished doing so, your readers will be hooked. Your reader want to know what you want to propose. Well, you're supposed to segue to that. You're supposed to have a transitional sentence indicating to the reader you're going to propose a possible solution. You can ask a question: how can this serious problem be best addressed, or what should be done against this problem, which is getting worse and worse? Or if you want to do that, you can say something like given, Given, given the seriousness of climate change, something should be done sooner rather than later. That's a good segue for your thesis statement. Let me put that again. Your thesis statement here is one of the most viable solutions would be for all the countries of the world, rich and poor, to shift from fossil fuel to clean energy. So you have that introduction. It's now you're ready to argue for what you're proposing in the body of your essay. As you can see, for the body of your essay, you have to detail what you're proposing. You're talking about clean energy. What does that mean? You have to show that what you're proposing will really help halt climate change. So, in a sense, your essay is an argumentative essay. You have to detail what you're proposing using evidence, using credible evidence. Um, um, if you don't do that, um, your proposal, what you're proposing, will not fly. You have to make a good case for what you're proposing. You can do that in several body paragraphs, 1, 2, 3, 4. It will be up to you, but you have to remember what you're proposing should be well detailed. You should do a good job. You should do a good job convincing the readers of your essay. After you finish in 3 paragraphs or in 2 paragraphs or in 4 paragraphs detailing your proposed solution, you need to have a paragraph before the conclusion of your essay to discuss at least a major objection to it. You can start that counter-argument paragraph with a transition called however. But that's to signal there was a change here. You just finished talking about the proposing. We're going to shift to something else. We can say something like, however, some people might object to the proposed solutions, arguing that it will not be sufficient. For example, it will not be sufficient. Okay? So you say that, you have to show probably why they say it will not be sufficient. After that, and the remainder of the counter paragraph, you have to respond to the objection. There are many ways you can um, um, respond to that. You can just refute the objection, but sometimes you have to concede in a very strategic way. Uh, Later on, we'll be talking about different ways you can respond to possible objections to what you're proposing. After you finish with the body of your essay, you need to conclude. In the concluding paragraph, you can reiterate, repeat what you're proposing, but for that, you have to use different words. If you don't use different words, your essay will be too repetitive. After you finish doing that, in the remainder of the one paragraph conclusion, you have to have a call to action. So, in that situation, you make a call to the leaders of all the countries of the world, okay, to have a look at what you're proposing and act on it as soon as possible to save our planet. So that's for organizational structure one. In the next video, I'll be talking about the organizational structure two. Stay tuned.